we will resume with public comment. First is Megan McKenna. Do you want to come up to the table and join us? Speaking on teacher safety and workload concerns.
I need the microphone, or is that loud enough?
Oh, I
Yeah, I can hear
you.
Yep.
My name is Megan McKenna. I'm a steward of the Park City chapter of the American Federation of Teachers. AFT is an AFL-CIO affiliate that represents nearly 2 million faculty and staff in public education institutions across Utah, the United States, and now a growing number in the Park City School District. I first want to thank you for your time today, for allowing us to make public comment. And I will be reading a statement on our behalf. The AFT Park City chapter organized to collectively voice our safety and workload concerns we felt were not being addressed. We proudly support our PCA and PCSD brothers and sisters and appreciate the tremendous work they do on our behalf. We do not seek to divide, we seek to a voice in the district at this critical time. While started by a group of Park City High School teachers, AFT Park City welcomes K-12 teachers and classified educators across the district that share our concerns and seek additional representation. On October 30th, AFT Park City communicated the following to the Park City School District and School Board. We have yet to receive a reply and would like to publicly reiterate our requests. Number one, we would like transparency in reported COVID cases at school. We ask the district to report all active cases, students, and staff in each school on the new dashboard in accordance with the Utah Department of Health definition of active cases. Number two, we ask for a metric and plan for changing learning modalities and follow through according to the state health department guidelines. We ask the district to commit to a metric and plan for in-person learning, hybrid learning, and remote learning based on the state's transmission levels, now low, moderate, and high. We support UEA's call to go remote through the holidays, and as long as we are in the state's high level of transmission. We urge the district to follow UEA's lead and seek the community support to ensure this time allows us to reduce transmission and return to in-person learning as soon as possible. That, of course, is our goal. We ask that the district follow through and recommit to going remote with 15 active cases in a building or 3 active cases in a classroom. Third, we ask for contract time to do our jobs and to teach all of our students. We ask for adequate time in the workday to meet the requirements of our increased workload. This is necessary across the grade levels and will need to be implemented according to each building's specific needs. High school teachers are currently teaching remote and in-person students simultaneously and on a traditional schedule. Our tremendous workload may be equivalent but lacks the structure, support, and reduced exposure of a modified hybrid schedule. Teacher input was not implemented in the decision to go half-day Fridays. The majority of us supported the plan our administration proposed for early out during the week. While we are grateful for the additional time for planning, for emailing, and for meetings, it is not enough. It creates additional scheduling and planning challenges and fails to address the need for allotted time with our remote students. We feel our requests are reasonable, prudent, and pressing. Many districts across the country and in Utah have addressed these concerns. Addressing our safety and workload concerns not only supports school employees, but provides a safer, more consistent, and supportive learning environment for our students at a time when they need it most. To publicly clarify, AFT Park City does not want to shut down schools or the economy or withhold education. We are not a vocal minority or a disgruntled few. We are educators. We are advocates for our students, our colleagues, and our professions. We love our students and we love our jobs, and that is why we are compelled to defend them right now. We of course are student driven, but need support to better support our students. We want to teach our students in the safest way possible in the midst of a global health crisis. We understand the dynamic nature of this unprecedented time and have been more than flexible and accommodating this fall. While we accept there are many things out of our control, we know there are measures the district can take to provide a safer, more transparent, and proactive response to the pandemic. for the health, safety, and well-being of PCSD teachers, staff, students, their families, our community, and our healthcare workers, and especially our most vulnerable and at-risk populations, AFT Park City urges the school district to address our request and the urgency the situation requires. You've asked us to assume good intent on your behalf. We would like to be afforded the same assumption. Thank you again for your time. We look forward to your reply and working together to best meet students and teachers' needs in this challenging time.
Thanks. All right, Melissa, if you'd like to join us.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I just want to start out by saying that I know this is a really hard time for everyone, and I recognize that everyone here is feeling the stress of this challenging situation, and just wanted to acknowledge that it must be a heavy burden to deal with the decisions and the disagreements, and I do sense that there is positive intent here amongst everyone. And I also wanted to say thank you for the raise, and that will then lead me to my comment, which is about the Friday afternoon time. This Friday afternoon time that's being provided for us to connect to our remote students is wonderful, and I thank you for it. I'm using every moment of it, and I know that my colleagues are as well. Allow me to share how I used last Friday as a snapshot into an unyielding challenge, just for transparency and communication. So Friday afternoon, immediately after lunch, I sat down and I graded about 24 random papers that needed to be graded before I could update the grade book, including feedback, because I'm an English teacher. And so did a whole bunch of grading, took about 2 hours, updated PowerSchool, and then sat down to do what I really wanted to do, which was find out who's failing. And so I went through and looked at every single student, I have 167, and discovered I had 17 students who were failing. And so immediately set about crafting an email, an individual email to each student, because they each have a different situation. They need something different said from me. And so I had to look up each parent and include counselors for some of them. This took about, an hour and a half. And when all of this was done, it was like, okay. I communicated. Everybody's heard from me. And it was just this weight lifted. Now I can settle in and deal with my Canvas pages and my plans for next week. And before long, I started getting emails back, which is great. Several of the emails were from students who are in my senior CE 1010 college credit writing class. And they're remote students who said, Ms. Nicolai, I have no idea where to start writing my rhetorical analysis. Now, my first response is, start? What have you been doing while we've been working together in class on this? And then my second thought is, I had no idea you were struggling, as I've communicated with you in class, if not mentioned. And then my third thought is, how do I help you now that it's 4 o'clock Friday afternoon and your paper is due Sunday night? And so, I know it was just 3 or 4 kids, but it's 3 or 4 kids. And it's just a snapshot of, kind of what we're dealing with every week. And I guess my point in sharing this with you is that this Friday time is really helpful. I can't thank you enough for it. But I have to say it's not enough, in that I would rather catch a kid before they fall into a hole than help them dig out of a hole. And I would really like, more than anything, to have structured, scheduled, required time within the week where I can work specifically with remote students, so that I can give them the one-on-one instruction that they're missing by being remote. I can't send a kid off to college who can't write a rhetorical analysis. And what we're doing now is definitely better than nothing, by all means, but I'm not used to giving a better than nothing education, and we're not a better than nothing school district. And I feel like they deserve more. I want to be able to sit down with them and say, let me go through a rhetorical analysis with you again, because you guys need it, rather than, oh, you have an F, what's going on? So that piece is super stressful, and I don't know, what I expect to change. I just want to express, I want to communicate. I think it's important for you to know that what you're giving us helps, and I thank you for it. There's still room where I could do better for my kids if I just had that opportunity. So that's all I wanted to say, so thank you.
Thank you. Paula, okay.
Hi. Me again. Okay. Thanks for the opportunity. So this is my 22nd year in the Park City School District. In that time, I've been a teacher at the high school, a coach, a club advisor, and a chaperone. I've trained pretty much in every district initiative, from SIOP to interest-based negotiations to UBD, and I've also been on numerous district committees throughout my career. My AP World History students, sophomores, consistently perform exceptionally well on the AP test and have consistently one of the highest pass rates in the school. Even though I did not grow up in Park City, my ties here run deep. I first visited Park City in 1981, and I have the distinction of skiing Deer Valley the very first day it opened. I spent my summers working in Park City. I've lived here in the surrounding area for 24 years. My brother has lived here for 38 years and has run his business for 29. He raised his family here. Both his children went through the Park City school system. I want you to know this, that it is because of these connections I am passionately committed to this community. When I and my colleagues are repeatedly characterized as a small disgruntled group of teachers who are unhappy because we haven't gotten our way, cuts deep, very deep. It takes courage and conviction to speak up. Teachers look to their unions to organize and speak for them when they don't have the time or the energy or are fearful. We are very concerned for our health and well-being, and of course our students. I have no other agenda than to speak from my heart and to change the narrative that has cast us in such a negative and divisive light. I strongly encourage you to work with us, not against us. We're all dedicated professionals who can work with you to find a way to ensure the safety and well-being of faculty, students, and staff, while also ensuring that students continue to learn at the high school. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. Shannon.
Hi, Shannon Hollowell Show. Obviously, I'm here just every month making some comments. And feedback to Melissa Nicolai and the extra time for teachers. Obviously, I was here fighting to say, give the teachers what they need to have. So I would like to echo, once again, if they need it every day to reach more people more consistently, then I think that that needs to be revisited as opposed to this one chunk on Friday. So while it may, not match nicely with what the elementary students think, I just want to really make sure that you're giving the teachers what they most need. Secondly, in clarifying, the water main broke and we went to a 10 a.m. to 2:15 remote schedule. And now I've been made aware that that's the remote schedule should the COVID count go up and we go to full remote. I guess as an engaged parent, I was kind of stunned that we were cutting our instructional time in half for whatever window of time that we go completely remote. When I hear Melissa Nicolai concerned about students that are falling through the cracks, all I can tell you is when you've got 167 or 150 kids all on remote for half the instructional time, you're going to have larger problems. So I would just love for you to share the rationale with me on why that was the decision for remote learning when right now remote learners get a full day. So I'm just a little baffled.
And we could have Dr. Amy fill in, but it's not, that's just the time they're on the computer. They're actually supposed to be working from the 7:35 time through. So their independent work is in the morning. The rationale was that the kids would be awake and would likely log in by that 10 o'clock time. But my belief is that they're supposed to have the full day to do their work. And for those kids who do wake up early, they're just supposed to get started, and then they can check in with the teachers as to, I'm stuck on this part of the prompt, I'm stuck on this, I started my work, here's where I need you. So that's what that remote day.
There's a great,
I guess I'm a little disappointed that we didn't figure out how to get some technology in the room and that teachers can't continue to teach remotely as they would. So that's where I'm really frustrated.
On the regular.
I've got a kid that's in California doing completely online classes, and he's getting a full, no, he doesn't get labs and in person, but he is getting complete lectures. He's not getting gypped on, the content of the course. And I'm concerned that our kids, this is not Q4, this is not review time. If you're gonna hold teachers accountable and be doing dibbles and end of year grades and, then you're gonna have AP tests, you're gonna evaluate teacher performance, and yet their instructional time has just been whittled away. I mean,
well,
it's gonna be hard on the teachers, it's gonna be hard on the students, and it's gonna be hard on the
all right,
parents.
so what I would redirect you to is the presentation that Dr. Hunt gave today. It's on board docs. There's a great schedule for what the secondary day looks like. And it is a schedule from 7:35 to 2:15, with the only independent work time being from 7:35 to 10. The water main break was a one-off. It was not the actual remote learning schedule. So rest assured that's not what's happening. And what I'll say to
And so
teachers.
do your kids get online and work remotely from 7:30 to 10? I mean, are they independent? I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it's great that high
Shannon,
schoolers
please.
are older.
Shannon, please. This isn't a back and forth, okay? We've taken your comment, we've accepted it, we've heard it,
That's
just like
right.
everyone else, thank you. And what I'd say to the teachers who have spoken, a couple of things. You've all been heard, okay? That's not the issue here. We hear the voices of tons of people every day. I have here literally a stack of 30 emails of people begging us to keep school open, most of which are parents and families of Treasure in the high school. We have a letter from a student, which we'll post to board docs, which is a petition signed by 67 high school students asking us to be open. And I'd ask everyone to read it because it really hits on a lot of the equity issues that we're all concerned about the struggles that the remote learners have. And I think there's a bit of confusion and misunderstanding about where we all sit with this. There's only one side. We want our kids to be educated. That's it. When the high school administration, when Dr. Hunt, the PCEA came to us and said, we need more planning time, can we try this? The board said, yes, we can, and we did. And we gave an early out on Friday specifically to try that. And what we said in that meeting as well was, we're open to doing more. We're open to trying this. We're open to seeing how it works. We're open to adjusting further. And we are. There's no pushback on that. When Amanda Lawling came to us and said, look, the primary educators, the elementary school needs more time. We said, great, come to us with a plan, and we're reviewing that now. And that's not gonna have, we're gonna review that with the administration and make sure that the elementary school teachers have more planning time. When we need more time, we'll do what we can to provide it. If that means, a more flexible schedule, whatever it is, we're open to discussing it. We're open to the input from the PCA. We're open to the input from Mr. Arbavi. We're open to Caleb. We're open to Dr. Gilday. We're here representing families that want their kids in school. That's our only job here, and to keep the schools open. So that's where we come from. We're doing that through an equity lens. We recognize that not every child has the same experience. We recognize that not every family has the ability to help their children at 7:30 in the morning or during the day. We get it all. And we're going to continue to try to work with everyone, all the stakeholders, to make sure that the kids can stay in school and the educators can remain safe. And to your questions from the AFT, a lot of those questions have been publicly answered, and I'm sorry you don't feel that they have, but we have heard your questions, and they have been answered, and we do have guidelines, we do have rules, and we're working with the health department, and we will continue to, right? We're not, we're taking in all the input from all the stakeholders, and again, we're working with you guys as a group, and unfortunately, it's not about small minority, Paula, or anything. It's that we're responsible to the community and the taxpayers who are overwhelmingly telling us that they want to remain in school. We're responsible to you guys as educators, because without educators, there is no school. But we also have to recognize that the opinions of 300 individuals are going to be vastly different at any given point. And that's the reality of a large organization. We have 700 employees. It's impossible that at any given moment, 700 are going to agree with each other on the direction for education, right, or anything. And that's what we're dealing with. And so it's not that we're ignoring you or we're trying to villainize or we're saying that, you're a small minority. It's a reality that we have to deal with all community members and try to make the best decision for all community members. We have to deal with all educators and try to make the best decision for all educators. And, we welcome continued input, but we welcome it in a positive way. And we hope that, as you guys have said today, it's a positive collaborative approach for you guys to work with PCEA, to work with your building administration, and to come collectively to us with plans and ideas that represent the group and the cohorts in the buildings. And we'll respond to them as we have shown that we're willing to do. And that's our message. We're collaborative, we're willing to listen, we're willing to give more time. Do it through the proper channels, please. Work with Mr. Arbabi. We will respond, and we've shown that we'll respond in a positive way. And we have a shared interest that schools stay open, kids get educated. So we'll, happy to continue the conversation later, and we'll continue to talk, but that's our goal, and please don't misunderstand or think that we're not listening. We have heard you guys. We know that there's differing opinions. We've heard all the parents. There's 32 emails saying keep schools open. There's 2 emails that say close schools down, like the UEA is saying. It's not that it's 32 to 2. It's that we've taken all that information and everything else, and we listen to the administration, we listen to the PCA, we listen to all the stakeholders, and we try to synthesize that information and make the best decision for everyone. So, yeah, it's stressful, it's hard, but that's what we're here to do, and we're going to continue to do it with good intent. So thank you all, and again, happy to continue.
Can I just ask you one question?
After the meeting, I'm happy to stick around. Yeah, absolutely. All right, with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn till December 15th at 4 p.m., which is our next regularly scheduled meeting and the last one of the calendar year.
I make a motion to close this meeting or to adjourn until our next regular scheduled meeting at December 15th at 4 p.m.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.